Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's still, I guess, morning. It's like 10:40. But today, I'm going to share with all of y'all what I do in a day with having gastroparesis, but on a hard day. Um, so, with having gastroparesis, sometimes you have what's called a bad digestion day or what's called a flare-up, which is typically a few days where it's just worse than normal. And in flare-up days, basically, your doctor prescribed you some medicine that is kind of like higher powered than what you normally take, and it's just for a few days in order to help you get through the harder days that you're having. And then once your flare-up is better, you get off the medication completely, and you only use that medication for if you're having a few harder days. So the past few days, I've had a few flare-up days, and it's basically where your stomach pain's worse, you feel more sick than normal, and it's just kind of like your symptoms, but a few worse days. So I wanted to take you how I handle those days of having a few harder days. So, let's get started. A flare-up day is whatever you eat that day, you want to be extra cautious about, because when you're having a flare-up day, it's kind of like more likely to make you feel sick, whatever you eat. I've had flare-up days so bad that even what I drink can also make me feel sick. So basically, just eat and drink things with caution. Obviously, you need things like water and Powerade and things like that to get you through, but I'd say if you're trying to eat or drink something, just take it very slow. I like to eat things like sometimes even as like liquidy as like soup, if we have any. Things like bananas, um, just things that digest, because um, I tried it, because if you eat things or sometimes even your normal foods that you eat with gastroparesis and you're having a harder time digesting those foods that day, it's more likely to make you feel sick. So I do drink coffee, so got me some caramel coffee here. And what I do is if I'm drinking coffee or water or whatever I'm drinking on a harder stomach day, I take it very slow, like try to take it a few sips at a time. Basically, I know this sounds probably really gross, but when you're having eat or drink like you have the stomach virus, because when you have the stomach virus, everything you eat or drink can make you feel very sick. So basically, on a bad digestion day, you kind of have to eat like if you were sick, or at least if you did eat like you were sick, it usually helps. Like, sip water, sip coffee, whatever you drink, take it very slow. I think that Sprite would be good if your stomach can handle it. I've tried soda since my diagnosis, and no kind of soda has went well with me, but if it does for you, maybe try sipping on some Sprite. A few things that I'd suggest to try to eat during a flare-up, if you feel like eating at all, is crackers. Sometimes I'll get crackers and put like peanut butter on them. You can have soup and crackers. Bananas. sometimes things like toast and honey, toast and jelly, things like that, that normally digest pretty well on a sick stomach. Those are the kind of foods that I'd suggest. And also, whenever you're having a bad digestion day, remember that your fluids are even more important than your food intake. Like, you definitely want to try to eat, but if everything just makes you sick, I would say that fluids are a lot more important, because you need fluids, and if you don't get fluids for so long, it can send you to the hospital, and you definitely don't want that. Matter of fact, the first flare-up I had here a while back, after my diagnosis, it got so bad that I couldn't hardly drink for like a couple of days, and it actually sent me to the hospital. We were gonna go see my regular doctor about it, but she was already off work. It was later in the day, probably around 5 or so. And so I went to the hospital and I got some fluids, and it helped me feel a little better. But definitely try to eat if you can. Take it slow. Chew your food up extra good. Also, throughout your meals, that's one thing I do, and one thing I got told, but I think it was either my nutritionist or my stomach doctor, was to drink throughout my meals and just chew it extra good, and yeah, try to eat things that you normally eat, like when you're sick. So that's my advice for what to do if you're having a bad digestion day. And also be sure to get plenty of rest. Don't push yourself to do things. And one thing that's hard for me, because I'm like a go type person, I'm like, oh, I should be fine, like, if I go or whatever, but, like, I have to realize that, you need to rest on harder stomach days, because it's really important. Kind of like if you were going to rest, like, because you were sick, when you're having a harder digestion day, it's really important to rest, take it easy, and don't rush anything you do that day. Just take it slow. And I'm actually going to show y'all what I'm going to eat for breakfast. Okay, so one hard thing about after my gastroparesis diagnosis was my portion size changed, and I actually eat out of a toddler size plate every other hour that I'm hungry. Like, I eat and then I wait an hour, and then if I'm hungry after that hour, I can have something else. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to have for breakfast. Okay, so I wanted to show everyone real quick what I'm having for breakfast. So I say breakfast, I do eat every other hour that I'm hungry, because my food takes an hour to digest, but this is my first meal what I'm having. I'm trying to take it really slow and just really have really good digestible food, because like I said, I've been coming out of a flare-up, or what we think is a flare-up, so I'm trying to be really careful what I eat. So I got me some pretzel sticks, I got me some Honey Nut Cheerios, and I also got me half of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So that's what I'm going to eat. I'm going to have some water with it and my coffee. And I want to say thank you all so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you're new. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.